Today, I'll be taking a look at the Honda City RS, taking a look around the vehicle, in the vehicle, taking it for a drive, and giving my thoughts along the way. Now, I've never really driven a Honda City before, so this is like my first time driving one. And this has been on the market for some time now. I think it's probably about 2 years since it has been released to Trinidad and Tobago. But I finally got my hands on one. I'm going to be taking a look at it. On the dealer's website, you have three models listed, an LX, EX, and an EXL. However, when you look at all the ads, you're only seeing them referring to it as the Honda City RS. So I'm not sure how that naming scheme works, but this particular one is the Honda City RS and it comes in at 219,000. But let's get into the vehicle. Starting with the styling, I must admit I love how the front of the RS looks. I love this sporty, aggressive look. Even though it's an economy car, what they call an econo box, they still give you some styling up front. And I'm guessing they went for a sporty design because it's named the RS after all. I also love the headlights. All LEDs, by the way. Turn signal, daytime running lights, high beam, low beam, fog lights, all LEDs. But I love this segmented look. I also love that red RS badging on the front grille. When you look at it, it's like, yeah, something is different about this vehicle. Even if it's just a trim piece or a trim level. You have power folding mirrors with turn signal repeaters, and in terms of tire size, you have 185 60 15s with alloy rims, no hubcaps, which is good. Moving further back, this is where the styling kind of fall apart a bit, and I think it's because the Honda City is so narrow. If it had like a wide body kit to this, it would look so mean, but it has a squashed in narrow look. You do get a reverse camera and LED tail lights with a rear diffuser. Now the rear diffuser kind of sticks out a bit, which I'm guessing they went for to give it an aggressive look at the rear, but because the rear looks so skinny and squashed in, it just looks slightly dumb. It in no way gives the same level of aggression as the front end does. And if you look closer, you will see its older sibling at the back. But it doesn't give the same level of aggression. Even with the rear diffuser sticking out, and even with the trunk lip, you still look at it like something is missing. And I think what is missing here is a wide body kit. If you are into cargo space, the Honda City has 519 liters of trunk space. Now, that's even more than the Honda Vezel with its seats folded up, because with the seats folded up in a Honda Vezel, you only have 354 liters of cargo space. With the good, here comes the bad, because I could not find a way to fold the rear seats down. And I looked online, and apparently other people are saying that the rear seats can't be folded down. I'm not sure, maybe it's voice command or fingerprint operated or something, but I couldn't find a switch or anything anywhere. So for now, let's just say it's user error. It's there, but I couldn't find it. But with the seats folded up, that's what you get, 519 liters of space. On the website, they also said it had a spare tire, but when I looked for the spare tire, couldn't find it. Maybe it's housed underneath this black trim piece here. Stepping into the rear of the Honda City RS, you have leather-esque seats, front and rear. You have the red stitching along the seats. Now, the confusing proposition is that Honda Cities have never been luxurious. They have always been econo boxes. And you get a feeling of they're trying, but they're not trying at the same time. For example, you have the leather-esque seats, red stitching on the seats. You say, okay, cool. They're stepping up. And then you have the rear AC vents. That's nice. And two USB ports, USB-C at that, not just USB-A, USB-C. So they are up to the times. You have seat pockets at the back of the seat, left and right. Nice wide pockets. You can fit whatever you have to fit inside of there. But then you take a look at the door panels, all four. Just hard plastic as far as the eye could see and as much as the hand could touch. So just as you start feeling all premium and bougie, reality hits you like, you're still in an econo car. And this continues throughout the cabin, and I will point out each and every example going forward. But I really do love that black roofline. It's going to take a while to get dirty. Plus, it really lends itself to the interior of the vehicle, given the fact that they were going for a black and red theme. It looks really good. Moving to the front of the City RS, ergonomically, it's a well laid out cabin. Everything is within reach, and you even have physical buttons for your AC controls, which is very important. None of that fancy touchscreen nonsense that they can't find when you're driving. But the 8-inch infotainment screen leaves a lot to be desired. There's nothing much happening here. It's straight to the point. Radio, Bluetooth, you can mirror your phone, you can play music via USB, but nothing fancy really takes place here. You have limited settings as well. You can customize the theme, and that's really about my recommendation. Take this unit out and install an Android head unit, and you'll be good to go for a number of years to come. In terms of your reverse camera, you have a basic reverse camera. The guidelines don't move. You just see straight back or a wider view or a slightly top-down view, but there's none of the 360 camera fancy stuff going on here. Just a basic, that's what's behind you, don't hit it. I love how these dials sound when you turn them left or right. It just gives you that engagement you seek as a driver. While you're driving, you feel it and you hear it. So you know, okay, I turned it one notch to the left or one notch to the right. That audible and tactile feedback is something that on-screen buttons will never be able to replicate. Moving along, you have one power outlet and two USB ports. But for some reason, there will be two USB-Cs to the rear and two USB-A up front. At the very least, they could have mixed it, one each, one USB-A, one USB-C, front and back. Because at this point, you put the obsolete technology to the front, where the driver is most likely going to be, and the rear passengers have USB-C. That doesn't make any sense to me. You have a small pocket area to the front of the gear shifter, two cup holders, and an econ button if you want to be a bit more economical while driving. Having a button or a dial for a gear selector is good, but it can't be that tactile feedback you get. You feel like you are in control when you have something that sounds like that. Behind that, you have your park and brake and your brake hole. You have a small pocket area here where you can put your phone or anything while you are driving. It's not big, it's not too secure, but you can still rest something there. The center console isn't that big of a space, but the Honda City isn't that big of a vehicle to begin with. So you have enough space to put whatever you may need to put in here. But for anything bigger, you have an okay size glove box. Luckily, they didn't cheap out here. They actually put some soft touch leather-like material on top here, so it's not hard plastic where your elbows will go most of the times while driving. Very comfortable. You don't get any powered seat option or heated or ventilated seats. It's just basic comfortable seats. They look nice with the red stitching and the little pattern there. So just basic but comfortable seats. Now remember I told you all the City often reminds you that it is an econo box at the weirdest times. For example, you have the sun visor with the vanity mirror, but no illumination. Not even a small LED bulb anywhere along there, just like the mirror, and that's it. Use the sun if you want to see yourself. You also don't get any LED map lights or dome lights, regular bulbs. It would have costed maybe 50 cents more per bulb to add LEDs, but it didn't. On top of the dash, you have hard plastics. It would last a very long time, no doubt there. But if you are somebody who's a stickler for soft touch materials, yeah, hard plastic on top. In the middle here, you have a bit of soft touch. You see them leather-like material. You have that there, you have your glove box, but the entire top of the dash, hard plastic. You have a multi-function leather-wrap steering wheel, so you have all your buttons you would need for volume, changing station, cruise control, your safety features, everything is there. And you even have your thumb indentation. When you're holding a steering wheel, you can put your thumb there. Like the cabin, it's very ergonomically pleasing. Everything is well placed, except for the hard plastic. Behind the steering wheel, you have paddle shifters. But because the Honda City RS is an ECVT transmission, you're not really shifting through any gears. You are shifting through gear ratios. There is a difference. For your instrument cluster, you have a mix. You have digital on the left, analog on the right. So it's like the Honda Vezel. You have your analog gauge for your speed, and everything else to the left of that is a screen. Very clear, just like the Honda Vezel, but I'm not sure what the exact refresh rate of this particular instrument cluster was, because when I was doing the driving portion, lots of flickering. The screen itself is not flickering, it's just how it looks on camera. So I'm not sure what refresh rate it has on this compared to even the Honda Vezel or any other vehicle I've reviewed so far. So I'm not sure. Just a heads up as to why it's going to be flickering in the driving portion. Now remember I told you all it reminds you that it's an econo box randomly. You have one touch up down, but only on the driver's door, not the other three. Like, really? Just give us one touch throughout and done. Now to the fun part. How does the Honda City drive? Spoiler, pretty cool for an economy vehicle. Side note, I love those thin daytime running lights, especially given the fact that they're on top and the turn signals are below. So when you have them on, you can see white on top, yellow below. It looks good. But let's go out on the road and see how it drives. Now, to say that this generation is a hybrid, but the previous generation was not, is technically wrong, because the previous generation, even though it was CNG, it was still a hybrid of two different gases. You had the petrol and the CNG gas. This one is a hybrid, but it's an electric hybrid. So you have the petrol and electric power powering it. So both of them are hybrids, just different types of hybrids. But what powers this particular generation is a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine that is mated to a hybrid component. Together, you have a total of 126 horsepower and 253 newton meters of torque. And that power is sent to the front wheels via an ECVT transmission. Now, if you have ever driven a hybrid vehicle in the past, it drives the same. Lots of low down torque, 0 to about 60, but after that, it tends to struggle and the engine makes it known that it's not comfortable at those speeds. It just drones on and on and on, and what makes it more annoying is that It's an ECVT, so there aren't really gears to shift, but it's programmed to simulate gear shifts, and it just sounds slightly annoying. But when you're just driving casually along like this, it's a pleasant drive. Because after all, this is where the Honda City would feel most comfortable. It was designed to be most comfortable when you're just driving like a normal person. When you get down your accelerator pedal, you will move forward faster, but the engine will make it known that it doesn't want to move forward faster. But once you are up and moving, the Honda City does feel planted on the road. Years ago, it used to be smaller vehicles used to feel rough because they have less mass to keep the vehicle planted on the ground. But technology has reached a point now where even the small vehicles have a refined ride quality. And the Honda City proves that because you are driving and it just feels smooth and refined until you get down your accelerator pedal and you have to put up with this noise. In terms of fuel economy, the Honda City RS comes with a 40-liter fuel tank. So let's say you're down to almost E and you're filling 35 liters of fuel. That's just about $208, give or take, in super gasoline. And with that, you have a rated 760 to 880 of city driving. Now, this is ideal conditions. I would say aim for at least 100 kilometers less than that. But in terms of mixed driving, which most times we do, mixed driving is rated as highway and city. So let's consider it, you're on the highway, then you're in traffic, then you're on the highway. It's rated as 880 to 1,000 kilometers of range. Now, as always, that's ideal conditions. So manage your expectations a bit lower than that. But that's still pretty good. It's still a fuel-efficient vehicle. In terms of safety, you have the Honda Sensing Technologies package in here. So you have the collision mitigation, road departure mitigation system, adaptive cruise control, lane keeper assist, forward collision warning. You also have vehicle stability assist, anti-lock braking, and electronic brake force distribution, which we normally just call EBD. Another cool thing about the Honda City RS is that under the left side mirror, you have this rearward facing camera. What this does, whenever you turn the left indicator on and the left only for some reason, they could have very well put it left and right. But anyway, guessing you're just giving you a taste of what you could have if you worked harder. When you turn your left indicator on, you see a straight back view on the side from your 8-inch infotainment screen. It's cool, but I really wish they'd put it on both sides, left and right. You also have a collision mitigation system which will flash on the instrument cluster if you're getting too close to the vehicle in front, and it will also make a beeping sound. The Honda City RS is still a pretty solid vehicle, even in spite of its annoying shortcomings like the inability to fold the rear seats down, no LED lights in front, having the camera only on one side, hard plastic on the doors. In spite of all of that, it's still a pretty solid vehicle.